So welcome to another video of mathematics as I continue with Frustum. So I just want to now give you ideas on what we are calling as being a pyramid. So this is a pyramid. Remember, when you're finding the volume of the pyramid, you know what you have there is the base. So the base, the bottom part that I've shaded is actually representing the base. So the base can either be made of a square, or it can simply made of a rectangle. Now, of course, you know that if it is made of a square, the area of a square is simply given by L squared because all the sides are the same. But if it is made of a rectangle, then the area is simply given by LB because the length and the breadth is what you have. So when you are finding the volume, the topmost part is what we call as being the apex. So from the base, to the apex, that, the distance between them is representing what we call as being the vertical height. So if you want to get the volume of any pyramid, it is simply 1/3 or 1/3 multiplied by the area of the base, then you multiply by the height. So that's the way you get the volume. So it will depend. So it's 1/3 the area of the base. So is your base in form of a square, then it would have been L squared times the height in this case of the pyramid. Was your base in form of a rectangle, so it is L times B times the height. So that's the way you get that. Now, if you cut the pyramid, you make up what we call as being a frustum. So it creates what we call as being a frustum of a pyramid. So now again, to find the volume of the frustum of a pyramid, you can consider, the top part. Let me try to shade the top part. Let me call, so you have got this top part. I'm going to call it as being A1. So in other words, it's the area of the top part. Whether it is a square or a rectangular pyramid, remember, let me use a different marker again. Then for the bottom, I've also used, a blue marker. Let me call the area of the bottom as being A2. So if it was, a rectangle, let's assume that it was actually a rectangle, and I'm going to be that side assuming that it is a square. So if that was a rectangle, you can get the area for the top part by simply saying it is L multiplied by B. So the length multiplied by the breadth, that will give you that. The same applies to area 2 for the rectangle. It is L times B. But if it was a square pyramid, meaning it was a square pyramid, it means that when you cut, this would have been a square and the bottom part would have been the square, meaning area 1 would have been given by L squared, and area 2, the bottom part would have actually been given by again, let me say, let me use a bigger L squared. That is what it would have actually been given. Now, how do you find the volume of that? Well, you can apply the volume is equal to, it is the height. In this case, the distance from the bottom, to the highest point of the frustum, we'll call it as being the height. So the volume is simply given by the height of the frustum divided by 3 multiplied by the area of the top part plus the area of the bottom part of the pyramid plus the square root of the product of area 1, multiplied by area 2. So this is the formula that we apply when we want to find the volume of a frustum of a pyramid. Remember, that is representing the area of the top part plus the area of the bottom part plus the square root. You multiply the area of the top part and the bottom part, but you find the square root. But remember, it is h/3. The height is the height of the frustum that you have been given. But let me show you how you can go about answering that in a typical question that came in the ECZ exam, so that you are able to see how you can go about that. So remember what I told you, it can either be a rectangle, the base can be a rectangle, a square, but I'm going to start with a rectangle in this example. So in this example, if you look at it there, the question there was saying that the diagram below is a frustum of a rectangular, so it's a frustum of a rectangular pyramid. So this is a rectangular pyramid with a base 14 centimeters long and 10 centimeters. So 14 by 10. Then the top part is 8 by 4 wide, given that the height of the frustum is 11.4. So meaning the height of this frustum that they have given us is simply 11.4 centimeter. Calculate its volume. Calculate its volume. So we can calculate the volume. Remember what I said, volume is equal to, in this case, the height of the frustum divided by 3. Then we can say the area 1 plus area 2. So the top part is what I'll call as being area 1, and the bottom part is what I'll call as being area 2. Then the square root of area 1 multiply by area 2. So what are you going to start doing first of all? First of all, you can know what area 1 is. So area 1 will be given by L times B, which in this case is going to be 8 multiplied by 4, which is going to give me 32 square centimeter. You can also get what your area 2 will be. It's L times B, which is equal to 14, the length times the breadth, which is 10. So that is going to give me 140. That is going to give me square centimeter. So once you get this, you can just apply them now in the formula there that we have for finding the volume. Right, so that is what we mean. So let's try to work out that. So the volume will be, what's the height of the frustum? It's 11.4 over 3. Then area 1, if you notice, let me just try to use a different marker. So area 1, in this case, the top part is simply 32 plus area 2, which is 140, plus, in this case, the product 32 multiplied by 140. So let's try to work out that volume will be 11.4 over 3. Let's try to work out that. We can add here that we saw that we just simplify 32 plus 140. So that is going to give you 172 plus. When you multiply 32 times 140, it is simply giving us a 4,480. Then what next do we need to do? So it is 11.4 over 3, that is 172 point. We find the square root of that. So what is this? The square root. So we are getting the square root of 4,480. What will the square root give us? So it is giving me, in this case, to 3 significant figures, I'll just leave it at 66.9, right? So we can add that. So the volume will be equal to 11.4 over 3. So it is going to be 172 plus 66.9. What is that giving me? So it is giving me 238.9. So what you do, this times that. So this value times 11.4, we are getting, in this case, a 2,723.46. We divide it by 3 so that we can get the final answer. So divide that by 3, it is simply giving me, a 907.82. Now remember, they tell us to leave to 3 significant figures. So 1, 2, 3, I can round it off. It will be 908, and that is going to be in cubic centimeters. So this is the volume that they wanted you to get for the frustum of a rectangular pyramid. So this is the way you can go about it. Please, if you like my videos, you can hit that like button and subscribe so that you can continue to receive notification for any new videos. Watch out for some more practice questions on this.